If you saw Patrick Waugh's first game as head coach of the Avalanche just a few weeks ago, you know that fire hasn't left him. Hard to believe it's been 15 years since Waugh and Chris Osgood threw down at Joe Louis Arena. With Waugh now on the bench and Ozzy broadcasting for us, the two were together again this morning for a trip down memory lane, starting with all those wars at the Joe.
I enjoy playing there. This is, first of all, it's a great building. I mean, people are close to you, and they were important games. I guess it helps at the same time.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, everyone, because I think none of us wanted to give an edge to the other. None of us wanted to go on a losing streak and say, hey, we got them now. We got the momentum. I mean, and especially going in the playoff. I mean, I still have that famous game in my mind. I mean, we were rolling, beat Detroit, and beat you guys in the playoff the year before, and then that night, I mean, it really affected us a lot in a way that we lost our focus that night. I mean, Scotty Bowman was the master of it, I guess, but at the same time, I mean, we just simply lost our focus. And when we came in the playoff, we were not ready, we were not sharp, and even the years after, I mean, we were looking at the wrong thing. We were looking to revenge instead of winning hockey games. Took us a couple of years, to be honest with you.
That's a great point. I just love, who did you love playing against? Who was in the other net the most? Like competing, like at that high level.
It didn't really matter, I mean, but, I mean, obviously, I mean, guys like Eddie Belfour, I mean, Dominic Hasek, even yourself, you knew you had a battle. You knew that if you gave a lousy goal, a bad goal at the wrong time, that'd be just plenty enough to lose that hockey game.
Well, for me, I grew up idolizing Grant Fuhr and you. Those were the two guys. So for me to play against you and go through all those battles was a great honor. It was fun. That was the biggest thing. Although you always didn't come out winning, it was fun, and you learned a ton from it. It made us all better. I think it did. Now we'll move on from the fun stuff now. What were you thinking when you came after me at center ice? What were you thinking exactly? Because I was thinking, I was thinking, holy, what is going to happen? That's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, it's.
You're a big guy. You were a big guy.
Yeah, you surprised me too. But at the same time, it didn't matter who was at the other side.
Yeah.
It was just, you could get rattled in those games, and I think after our fight, this is where I realized it was overboard. This is not what we were there to do. Yeah. Fighting, it was to win hockey games, yeah. And I think we had a lot of frustration on what happened. I mean, with Claude and in that game, I mean, we simply lost our focus, to be honest with you. And the problem is when your team lose the focus and it's the leaders of the team that lose that focus, it's hard to get back. And this is where the coach needs to jump in and say, hey guys, what are you doing?
Yes.
And I think that night was probably the night that was, I think, click in my head and say, hey, we're not heading in the right direction here. We're going totally in the wrong way, and I think that was somehow, I think, a good turnaround for us.
That's an awesome perspective.
You know what? There's fightings that's gonna turn, teams around and the series around, but also there's also fight that could do the opposite for your team, and I think the first one hurt us a lot, but the second one made us realize what's going on here.
Yeah,
let's play hockey and let's be intense.
Which after that, to me, the series, I wasn't there. Dominic Hasek played against. That was the best series I've ever watched. That was a great. That was great.
The one that you guys beat us, I'm sure you remember when you guys were up 2-0 in Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, going in Detroit. I mean, down 2-0. I mean, we were not as. I mean, we tried to show we were confident, but to be honest with you, and no one wanted to be swept by you guys. I mean, I think this is where pride comes into play, and we beat you guys both games there. I think we went on to win the next 4, but that was a good one too as well. I mean, they were all very special. I mean, listen, I think we played 3 to 4 times. I think 4 times, and the 3 times we lost against you guys were 2 Game 7 and 1 Game 6.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
It was great hockey.
Yes,
it was great hockey, wasn't it? Well, my last question, a fun one, and be honest. You're always honest.
Always are.
Always are. Who is tougher, Vernie or I? And he's a lot shorter than I am. But you can be honest if you think it's him.
Well, it's hard for me to answer this question. First of all, I learned in that fight I had to take my glove off. That helps a lot.
You had one extra fight to learn. That was my first.
You got me. I like to say to my sons, I mean, and my kids, I said, that was a lucky punch. Come on, guys.
It was that. All that. And I tell them that too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. This was awesome.
Chris,
it's a great honor for me.
Have fun.
And great year so far. Good luck.